And good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee with Kuzz. Yeah. Real quick, shout out FP&L last week. We had our coffee with Kuzz, and in the middle of the live stream, my whole complex went out. So we were without power. So we got to end it abruptly. My bad, y'all. My bad. It was out of my control. But anyway, I'm hoping everybody's had a really, really good week. Everything's going well. We're gonna have these conversations while we're trading the markets or looking at the markets. I doubt if I make a trade while we're in the live stream here. As you guys know, it's a cup of coffee. Here it is. Rideshare Garage. I'm gonna have to kill the volume on the phone because Weeble is gonna blow up my phone with all the notifications. We got a little bit to talk about today, and we're gonna get into it with DoorDash, which I do not do DoorDash, but we're going to get into it with DoorDash because this isn't the first or the second, but this is the third time DoorDash has gotten clipped for is it stealing tips? Is it reallocating funds? Is it fuzzy math? Yeah, we're going to get into that, bro. We definitely, and shout out to Steve from Rideshare Rodeo because I was unaware. I don't drive DoorDash. I don't do food delivery. I don't do delivery at all, right? And there was a time I tried to catch on with Curry, but that didn't work out too good. They never got back to me, so the hell with them. I don't need them. Just so you guys know, too, real quick, on my chart here, this line here represents the 9:30 a.m. opening New York session bell. What I always do is I wait for the first 5-minute candle. So we'll put in the high of this 5-minute candle. Let's make that a little bigger. Actually, I don't need this anymore. That was a trade I took this morning for a quick $55. Let me get rid of this stuff here I don't need right now. Okay. And we're going to take the high of the 5-minute candle. We're going to take the low of the 5-minute candle. We're going to use that for our New York session opening range, and then we're going to make decisions based off that. But more to that in a little bit. Right now, I want to wait and get this first candle marked off, and then we'll go ahead and get into the DoorDash stuff. But, the whole thing with DoorDash is it's a small piece of sand on the beach compared to what bigger entities, much bigger money does when it comes to the public and their money. We're gonna talk about that. We are definitely going to talk about that today. Who's all in? Okay, Randy. Good morning, sir. Gains for my membrane gains. Should I get a 2014 QX60 for Uber Lyft Rideshare XL? And what happened to Omar? Omar's going through some things. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't even spoken to him. I don't know if he's pissed at me. I don't know. But I know he's going through some things, personal, private things that he needs to get past. So I understand. He'll be back when he's ready. As far as driving a 2014 QX60, y'all already know I'm not recommending no vehicle for nothing. And the reason why I'm recommending no vehicle for nothing, here we go. Here's our opening range. After this 5-minute candle, we break it down to the 1-minute candle. We see where that opening range is, which we see is right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to let that ride and do its job. We're looking for break and retest above and or below. But we have sell side liquidity on the 1-minute chart here. Okay, we'll let that ride. As far as buying a vehicle, I wouldn't buy a vehicle. I'd use what I got and run that shit to the ground. That's what I would do. Remember, this will be 9 years I've been doing this part-time. I burned up 2 vehicles driving for Uber and Lyft, and Uber and Lyft, they've done nothing for me. So anyway, Melvin, good morning, sir. Ryan, what's popping? How are you? Hope all's well in San Antonio, California. Ryan, I forget where you're from, my brother. Commuter, Vinny, good to see you. I got a cup of Joe. I'm sitting back to enjoy it. Listen, bro, I don't know if I bring any entertainment or not, but I'm going to speak my mind because that's what I do on this channel. I don't even know which way to take the channel. But by the way, for y'all that don't know, Commuter Branch, he's from across the pond. He's from, I don't want to get it wrong. It's Ireland. He's from Ireland, y'all. Scotty Robinson. Oh, Scotty says he's in Paris today. Yesterday he was in Pakistan. The day before that he was in Guadalajara. Today he's in Paris. Yes, Scott. Yes. I can't wait to talk about Uber Paris and Uber London. Oh my God. I'm not even going to go. I'm not having these conversations. All right. So here we go. Yesterday, when I got home last night, I saw Steve on with Rideshare Rodeo. And if y'all don't watch his channel, you should go check him out. Okay. A lot of information, a lot of good information there. Anyway, he's talking about how DoorDash is stealing tips again. And so in the state of Illinois, there was an $11 million settlement, which was agreed upon November 8th, and it has to go through judicial approval. Basically, what this article is saying is, basically, it's a bait and switch. You order a DoorDash meal, right? When you order that meal and then it says, would you like to tip? Tipping will help incentivize a driver to pick your food up and deliver it to you. If you pre-tip, DoorDash is taking that pre-tip and making it part of the payout for the driver. And then they're replacing the money that the driver should be getting paid for that delivery with your tip. And they're not telling the driver that this is your tip. You understand? It's a bait and switch. They get the driver or the rider to supplement, pay for what DoorDash should have been paying the drivers to begin with. How many DoorDash drivers out there have I seen on X, on other rideshare channels where it's $1 base pay? 13 miles, 30 minutes with $1 base pay. Customer tips, approximate, estimate, $4. So it's a $5 ride, but DoorDash is only paying that driver $1, and the tip is going towards paying the driver. Now, this is my problem here, right? Because this is way bigger than DoorDash. DoorDash, I could give a shit about DoorDash, right? I don't drive for them. I could give a shit about them. But if you drive for DoorDash, this is fair replacement. This is 100% fair replacement. It's not a tip should be in addition to. We have the same problem on Uber and Lyft, rideshare, with Surge, right? With Surge. We all know the last 2 years in upfront pricing, Surge is no longer an add-on. It's a replacement for. Now, it might not be. You might have a $5 Surge, and the ride should pay you $10, right? But then due to upfront pricing, it comes up at $12.50. So they might not be taking the whole $5 and using that towards what the ride should be paying, but they're taking a piece of that. I don't give a shit what nobody says. We know what's happening. We see the rides day in, day out. So this is a bait and switch by DoorDash. If you're still driving for DoorDash, do not complain. And I understand some of y'all need the work. I get it. I need the work. I need to still get out here. As a matter of fact, today we're going to trade a little bit, and then we're going to get out here, and we're going to have a long day out here driving Uber and Lyft. I got bills too, shit. But you cannot complain about your tips anymore because you know this. This is the third time they've been caught bait and switch on tips, using it as paying you. And the reason why this is so important is because Uber and Lyft are watching what happens with DoorDash. Somebody floated the idea on, I don't know who it was. And if I did, I don't want to call them out. I remember who it was now. I'm not going to call them out because it'll start holy hell. Not that I give a shit. But they want Uber and Lyft to allow the driver or the rider to pre-tip in the app. If the rider starts having the ability to tip you in advance, what in the hell do you think is going to happen to the fare for us? This is going to happen with Uber and Lyft. And if you don't think so, whoever tells you no, they will never do that, you should never listen to them again. Ever. I don't give a shit who it is. Big channel, small channel, I don't care. Anybody who tells you that Uber and Lyft will not take, I don't give a, if it's a penny. If they take a penny of your tip for themselves, they are stealing tips. And if Uber and Lyft now start allowing riders to pre-tip as an incentive to take that ride, your ass and my ass, we're going to get robbed. We ain't going to have to worry about somebody jacking us on the street. We're going to get jacked in the app as soon as we hit accept. 100%. Promise you, take it to the bank. That's exactly what will happen. And you know what? Once you give a little bit, you're done. You are absolutely done. Which brings me to a whole nother point here. Let's see, Alexa, are you awake this morning?
Yes, I'm here.
I don't know if you guys can hear Alexa or not. But Alexa, when was the Florida lottery established?
The Florida lottery was founded on January 12, 1988.
Thank you, Alexa. So the reason why I bring up the Florida lottery, because in the beginning with the Florida lottery, and this is what I mean by it's a much bigger problem. DoorDash didn't originate stealing people's money. They didn't originate this. Every state has done this. When the Florida lottery first established itself, 35% of all receipts, all money taken in from lottery sales were supposed to go to education. That's where the money was going. But do you know what happens after time? Right? Two things happen. Number one, after a few years, because nobody audits big government, after a few years, the money that was going to education, teachers, schools, students, parents, supplements, whatever, money that was going there from our property taxes, sales taxes, all of this stuff, they started taking that money away. Right? Because they're like, oh, well, we got 35% of Florida revenue is now going to take care of that. So they start pulling money back and taking that money, reallocating it someplace else, i.e. what DoorDash is doing now. They're taking the tip, putting the tip in the base fare money. They're taking the base fare money that they would have paid you and putting it into their pockets to make their stock look like it's. If you hold DoorDash stock, you're somebody I don't want to talk to because you're an idiot and you're part of the problem. So what the Florida lottery did, right? They started replacing that money slowly but surely, a little bit out of a time. They might take 1% here, 3% here, but eventually all that went. Now, you want to know something else? I just looked this up this morning. Now, proceeds from the Florida lottery with all of our gaming here. And remember, this is state law. It's part of our constitution, state constitution. Now they're only paying out 27% to the education. Only 27% of all revenues go to education. Why do I bring this up? It's not just because of DoorDash. Here in Florida, we just had a measure. Marijuana sales, recreational marijuana sales, they wanted to make legal. I personally voted no. One major reason, one minor reason. The minor reason was because I don't like the smell of the shit. You want to smoke weed, you want to smoke marijuana, God bless you. Do your thing. I got no problem with that, right? I really don't, right? I put it on the line so that you can do what you want to do as long as you ain't hurting nobody else. I don't like the smell of it. I don't want to be around it. I gag on the shit. But the number one reason why I said no, was because they put it on the initiative when you read what the amendment was. And remember, this was an amendment to the Florida Constitution. It said that the proceeds from marijuana sales would go to education. Did we not just go through this with the Florida lottery? Still going through this with the Florida lottery? We went from 35% allocation to education to 26.9% allocation to education. Now you want to take marijuana sales, pass marijuana sales, and proceeds from that will go to education. Bait and switch. It's a bait and switch because they want to take monies from other things, or they want to take monies from education and allocate it elsewhere. You see what I mean? It's all a bait and switch. And this is what big business does. This is what people do. I'm glad the marijuana initiative failed. And I'm being honest now, if that initiative would have never printed, had nothing to do with education in the state of Florida, I probably would have said yes, because I respect your right to do what you want to do. You want to stay high, lazy, and fucked up all day, that's on you, right? That's on you. That just means more money for me. I hope I catch you in the markets on a trade. But because they attached it to education, as if that's going to be the incentive for me, I'll give you another one. West Palm Beach, Florida. Boca Raton. Pretty old money in Boca Raton. If you guys don't know, look it up on the map. Boca Raton had a 0.5-cent penny tax. I don't know what the result was on the vote, right? But they wanted to raise a 0.5-cent penny to go to education. Have y'all seen the schools in Boca? Look up the schools in Boca. Look up the median household income for those students that go to school in Boca. Their community schools, which are like public high schools, have more money than damn near every school in Dade County. And Miami-Dade is probably twice the size of Palm Beach County. And it's amazing to me how they use these little metrics, these little buzzwords. Oh, it's for the kids. Oh, it's for this, it's for that, for that. And then next thing you know, you fleeced out your money. Last point I want to bring up about this, and then we're going to get to our markets over here and see what we're doing now. If you guys can see, right, we know this first 5-minute candle high, 5-minute candle low. It did break above, but it failed, and it's back in this range again. This purple line is the session of the, if you guys don't know, I'm trading futures. So here's the 4 a.m., but session started at 6 o'clock yesterday. That's my baseline. That's where the market opened up yesterday. So we're going to see what happens. Looks like if we look along this purple line, we can see that's a pivot point for the futures, which also happens to line up with 21,200, which is just a good whole number, right? Psychological whole number. So we'll see how that goes there. I was listening to Michael Bordone, or whatever his name is. I'll link him up too, if you guys are into real estate at all. And he's got his finger on the pulse of the real estate market. That's what he does. I don't know him. I like watching his videos though, because they're cool as shit. He gives me a lot of ideas. But he has said that this past election, it was either 6 or 8 states that were trying or attempted to modify or altogether eliminate property tax. People are getting tired of getting taxed. And the reason why is because here in Florida, again in Florida, it ain't all sunshine and rainbows down here. I support the governor. He kept me free during the pause. And now that he's not running for president anymore, he's actually doing shit in the state needs. They're taxing us. Property tax. You own a piece of property, you get taxed every year. You get assessed a tax. And that tax is supposed to go towards your trash, but it doesn't. Go towards your water. You know, all the maintenance that the county and the state needs. Education. Property tax goes towards education, but your police, your fire. I would say ambulance services, but we know that's bullshit because you get a bill from the ambulance service. But they're trying to tax you on unrealized gains. Follow me here. What are unrealized gains? Unrealized gains is if you own an asset, like a cup of coffee. I own this cup. Last week, I paid $5 for this cup. A month from now, this cup is now worth $6. That's what it's worth. I paid $5 for it. I have not sold it. I have not sold this cup. Even though it's worth $6, I only paid $5 for it. But they want to tax me on the $6 that I never seen. I haven't seen that $6. All I know is the $5. And so they want to do the same thing, you know, the Elizabeth Warrens of the fucking world and some of these other Democrat and some rhino Republicans, right? Some corrupt Republicans. They want to tax people on unrealized gains. If you own a piece of property that you paid $10,000 for. It's just an empty lot of land out there somewhere. And now the perceived value, the tax assessment office comes by and they say, oh, this property is worth $20,000 now. They want to tax you on $20,000. Although you didn't get to enjoy that tax assessment increase. So there's a lot of things that's going on. Last thing I'll say about all of that is, you got to watch. I don't know how people voted. It's none of my business. I'm just glad you voted. But now that we do have an established new administration coming in, right? You're going to see a lot of games on the left side. They're going to do everything they can to block what the right side is going to try to do. And listen, the right side did the same shit with Biden. Republicans did it to Biden. Democrats are going to do it to Trump. It's just the way it is. This is the games they play. Here's my issue with all that. This is why I don't belong to either party. I voted for Donald Trump. I like his policies. But even more so, and this is the biggest thing I think people miss. When it comes to Donald Trump, I know where I stand. This isn't a Trump thing, a Republican thing, a Democrat. I just know where I stand with Trump. He says what he means. And if I don't like it, then I know not to like it. At least I know up front. Would you rather somebody bullshit you, bait and switch you like a DoorDash, bait and switch you like the Florida lottery, bait and switch you like the marijuana initiative? How's that working out in Colorado for education? They got money hand over fist. They still can't put it in the bank. You got people getting robbed left and right over there because if you put that money in the bank, it's money laundering according to the federal government. That's what Kamala Harris did, right? Y'all remember that, right? She would put people in jail for smoking weed, and then she smoked weed listening to Tupac. Anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. The point is, we the people suffer. We're the ping pong, right? Ping, 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 ping. Republicans and Democrats. And we're the ping pong. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And whatever happens for us, how do we benefit as a whole? You can be conservatively and fiscally responsible. You can be social justice conscious. You can do all of these things in the middle, which is where the majority of us are. We're in the middle. But this is what they do with us. Bing, bing, bing. Yeah, I know. It's a demonstration. That's what happens, y'all. This is the way they treat us. So anyway, that's pretty much my rant for this morning. I'm not going yet. Good morning, Connie. How you doing, Connie? Let's see. MBU, every few weeks, Uber Eats seems to move tips to rides. The ride delivery rate increases and the tip decreases. In LA, it's probably due to Prop 22. So you got Prop 22 out there, right? Which I still don't. The best way that I understand Prop 22, by the way, y'all. Now you see here, I'm talking with y'all. I'm not going to take the trade, but we got a buy side liquidity here, right? You see this red line? So for me, this is not financial advice. For me, now I want to see. I would probably have taken this trade because we hit it once, we hit it twice. We're probably going to break through to the upside, but the market. Let's look at the 1 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour chart. The market since the election has been through the roof. All those blues and reds, those are trades that I've taken. Not all at one time. But the market, you can see here, man, since the election, bro, we've been through the roof. This needs to cool down a little bit. So we're not gonna rush into any trades today. If anything, as Sergio calls me, I might be a stock jockey. But I'll be looking at, this is an indicator for me, and we want to see what it's going to do there. Right? So it's coming back up, break and retest. My 20 SMA now on the 1 minute is above opening range candle. So now this is someplace where I start keeping an eye on, right? And this is a possible trade opportunity. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not financial advice. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I really don't. I have a little story to tell. I don't know if I want to tell it. Last Thursday, I dropped $1,200. Sure did. So for y'all that don't know, I'm on I'm getting into prop firm trading here. And prop firm is simply you take an evaluation. They supply you the capital to trade. After X amount of monies that you earn, it's a split. And in my case, it'll be a 90-10 split. I am using my funded futures. This is the first evaluation I'm on. I'm into my second month on it because I had to reset last month because I don't know futures. I'm getting a better handle on it. So for me, in this futures account, I have to profit $3,000. Once I profit $3,000 on this $50,000 account, once I profit $3,000, I get moved up to the next level, which will allow me now to take payouts, which means I'm trading live money. But I have to go through the evaluation first. For me, I've said this many, many times. I was a decent options trader. Being that, situations have happened. If you've been following my channel for the last year and a half, everybody knows had the heart attack, bills, blah, 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 right? So now I'm trying to take advantage of prop firms. And that's a whole other thing, man, prop firms. But it's awesome because it gives us opportunity to trade the markets. You pay for the evaluations. You have to pay. That's how it is, right? So I'm trading real money because it's costing me money. See, we're busting through here. Let's see. We get above that. Next level. I'll have to sit here and look at the next level. We're probably up to here somewhere. There we go. Let's see what happens there. I'm not trading. I'm not taking a trade live online. I will never do that. So anyway, with the prop firms, you pass their evaluations, you get moved into what they call sim accounts. And again, you got to hit a certain amount of profit level. And then once you hit a certain amount of profit level where you create a buffer. So say you run that up to $3,000, right? They'll allow you to take a payout of $1,200 on my account. I'm on the 50K starter account because I'm on the cheapest account they had because it costs money, and B, it's my first foray into prop firm trading. But so last Thursday I was up $2,250, right? $750 away from passing the eval last week, and I ran into Thursday. And Thursday, I don't know why. It was the easiest day to trade, and I tried to buck the market. I tried to buck the trend, and we'll talk about trends on Thursday. But I tried to buck the market, and I wound up my drawdown. My daily loss limit is $1,200. I wound up losing $1,218 on Thursday. Knocked me all the way. I went from being 75% up to 35%. I lost 40% of my account. But now here's the but. I didn't get angry. I didn't get mad. You see how this rejected? See how this rejected that area? Look at that. Sharp rejection off that liquidity. Now let's see what happens. Coming all the way down again to opening market range, top of the opening range. Oh, let's see what happens. So anyway, instead of getting pissed off, because this is an emotional thing, bro. This is chess. This is the greatest game nobody will ever win, right? You don't win in trading. This isn't gambling. This is probabilities. Okay, it's like playing poker, right? You control your bet size. You control how much you're willing to lose on a trade. You control how much you're willing to lose on a poker hand. You control all these things based on mathematical, historical decisions, right? Anybody that plays poker knows exactly what I'm talking about. Going to a slot machine, now that's gambling, because the house always wins 51.5%, always wins. Anyway, the point is, I reevaluated. I walked away, went and watched the movie Friday Night Lights, I think it was. Came back, sat down, went through some things, went over some things, got myself right. Came back on Friday, plus $457. Came back yesterday, plus $709. So, and then this morning I took a trade 55. I am exactly where I was Thursday morning before my big loss. And that's what you got to do in life. It don't matter how hard you get punched in the face, bro. It don't matter. I'm all jacked up. I am just like you. I got problems like everybody else, right? But, you got two choices here. You got two choices. And so you either make a decision to learn a new skill, learn a new trade, do something to get yourself out that bullshit, or you don't. You sit and you waller in the shit that they keep See what I'm saying? Kings and peasants. So anyway, that's my soapbox spiel for today. We got the garage tomorrow night. We've been on now a half hour. Hold on, what is this? Connie says, Vinny, have you noticed Uber and Lyft are capping us at $32.50 an hour without prop crazy? Bro, listen, Connie, I watch Boston Drives. I watch Matt every day. I see him on X every day. And if you guys want to follow me on X on Twitter, it's really political for me there. Just Vinny Kuzz, same name, Vinny Kuzz on Twitter. Yeah, I see that, Connie. I see that. And then when Matt shows the difference between Uber and Lyft with the surges on a Saturday night, what it used to be, what it is. Anytime these politicians, and I'm sorry, but they've been Democrat politicians that's doing it to you. Y'all just won't wake up and see that shit. Every time they come in there and establish a law, they're not giving you a floor. What? No. They're giving you a ceiling. This is the most you're going to earn. This is it. And that earnings is going to be based over a couple of weeks, not just per day. So today you might make $50 an hour in Boston. You might make $50 a day in LA. But tomorrow, when you only make $15 an hour in either city, they're going to take this money and replace it to that money. It's bait and switch. All of these propositions for rideshare drivers are bait and switches. Every freaking one of them is a bait and switch, bro. And so, yeah, Connie, I hear you. I'm sorry. Oh, WeZoom. We got WeZoom in the house. Y'all don't know WeZoom. Y'all go to gigwithit.com. The unofficial, no, you know what? Screw that. The official sponsor of the Rideshare Garage. We got to talk about Coffee with Kuzz. We got to talk about that one. I don't know, Kyle. I don't know. I'm holding a couple aces here. I don't know if you want to buck that. And the board is a complete rainbow. So I don't know if you want to buck that there, Mr. Kyle. Pullback buy on Tesla, Vinny. I'm going to tell you how I feel about Tesla. The same way I've been saying it for a year. Same way I've been saying it for a year. I don't care what the price of Tesla is. I don't care if the stock price is $100. I don't care. Matter of fact, let's bring up Tesla right now. I don't care if it's a, look at that. Okay, so here's Tesla. Here's a daily chart, y'all. It's a daily chart on Tesla. It's going to have to fill this gap at some point. It's going to have to fill these gaps at some point. You would think, right? But Tesla now, hold on, let me get that out the way. Here's Tesla's daily chart. You see that nice long red line there? That's a legacy trend line. This is all the way back from October of 2019, y'all. From October of 2019. In that time, I want to show y'all something. In this time, if you were to get into Tesla then, you had a split here, this split. So if you owned one share of Tesla, October of 2019, now, August of 2020, you owned 5 shares. And the price went up. Now we come back, fast forward. You see how the price went through the roof, came all the way back? Now, you got 5 shares of Tesla, right? Now you have 15 shares of Tesla because it split 3-1. So for every 1 share you had, you got 3 to replace it. It looked like the price came down because of the split, but it was still valued the same. So instead of 1 share at $100, you had 3 shares now at $33.33. Y'all follow what I'm saying? And yet, here we are. So there are 2 assets, not financial advice. There are 2 assets that I like, that I've always liked. Listen, NVIDIA's been my bitch since 2015. But right now, I can't talk about NVIDIA because I ain't gonna lie, man. I think NVIDIA is just way overvalued. But the market sets the price, right? So whatever the market's willing to pay, that's what the price is. Tesla is one of those you just buy. Once every 2 weeks, once a month, $50 worth of Tesla. If you guys want a link, I'll put a link in the description for Webull. And you guys can, you just download the app, whatever. Click on the link, you download the app. And you can buy fractional shares. You don't have to buy a full share. Today, Tesla's trading at what? $339.20, right? $339. Bro, 2 weeks ago, this shit was in the 230s, 240s. You follow what I'm saying? And so you just buy. You don't care. You dollar cost average. You just buy. This, and here's the other one. Here's the other one we've been screaming about, and I'm so upset because I had to use it to pay bills. I don't have any right now. I honestly don't have any right now, and I'm so fucking mad about it. Look at Bitcoin, 87,000. But what y'all don't realize is, right? Bitcoin broke $90,000 last night. Bitcoin broke 90K last night. Let's break this down into a 15-minute chart. Oh, maybe it didn't. 89,993. That's what Bitcoin did last night. Again, I don't care if this shit goes, if Bitcoin goes to zero. Well, I care if it goes to zero. I don't care if it comes back down to $20,000. You buy once a month. That's called investing. You're not investing so that you can pay your light bill next week. You're investing so when shit hits the fan and you have a heart attack, you got to get paid. Your retirement comes around. You got funeral expenses, right? Your kids need to go to college. Whatever the issue is, investing is you put the money in, you set it and forget it. And you just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. That's investing. And those are the two assets that, are what you do. I got Tesla right now. I haven't restarted my Bitcoin, but I promise you, when I restart my Bitcoin, I don't know when that's going to be, but when I restart my Bitcoin, I'll do it live on the air. I'll show you how. Yeah, you set it up. It's a recurring buy, and you just let it go. That's the gig. That's the deal. This is where we're at. Let's take a look at Lyft stock right now. Lyft on the daily has been doing a little better. Let's see. Yeah, see, Lyft's got this big. Let's hide my VWAP for a minute. Let's hide that for a minute. All right, this is the daily on Lyft. Lyft will never be a buy for me. Ever. They're one-dimensional. They discriminate. They'll never be a buy for me. Some people that are cool with that. Some drivers in some markets say, I know Steven says, unbroken driver, tech and effects. He says that Lyft is great for him and Uber sucks. Buddha for a while there was Uber sucks, then Lyft, and Lyft was good. Now Lyft sucks and Uber was good. I don't know. Again, there's that ping pong. Remember, we just talked about that ping pong. Y'all think it's about Republicans and Democrats. It's not. It's money versus money, right? They play the chess match, and we're the checkers in between. Y'all gonna learn this shit, man. I'm too old to. I wish I'd have known. You know what they say? If I knew then what I know now, Lord have mercy, I'd have probably been president. So anyway, Lyft is way up here, but let me show you something. And this is a never fail. See this here? This is called a gap. I'm trying to get a color on here that you guys can see. Okay, you see that red area? That's a gap. That gap's going to be filled at some point. So at some point, Lyft's price is going to come back down and visit that 1450, 1470 range. That will happen. It's absolutely going to happen. They are on an uptrend, though, from here at their low of $8. Well, it wasn't their low, but their previous low of $8.92. So let me ask you all a question. We got 10 people still in the chat, and I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you hit the like button for me, because I'm going to keep doing this regardless. Let me ask y'all a question on Lyft and Uber. We'll look at Uber in a minute. But let's talk about Lyft real quick. What has Lyft done to deserve their stock price to go up $10 since August? In the last 5 months, what has Lyft done to deserve their stock price to be up $10? To double plus? Let me know in the comments. What has Lyft done to deserve that high of a stock price? Were they way undervalued previously? So you're telling me the market thought this whole time in here Lyft was undervalued. All this Lyft was undervalued. And then all of a sudden, they just figured out how to smash the market. And now Lyft is worth $18 a share? What did they do to deserve that? Is that in the numbers? Are they taking that much market share from Uber? It's an honest question. As somebody, as an investor in something, I want to know I don't care what you're doing right now. I want to know what you're going to do in the future. They call that outlook, right? When they have their earnings call, they give their outlook for the next quarter, next year, next 5 years, whatever. But can I, the common person, because they think we're just dumbass Uber drivers anyway. What do we see that's going to want us to invest in them? Because if I ask, any of the AIs, y'all know who I'm talking about. Alexa, you still with me?
I'm here.
See?
Listen once I hear the wake word.
Alexa, I think you're just awesome.
Good morning, Vinny. Wahoo! My just went from great to absolutely perfect.
See, I'm getting used to Alexa. That's all I'm saying. I'm getting used to her. I'm going to start using her. Anyway, the point is like, what did they do to deserve $10 plus to go 115% up on their stock price? As a driver, we see what the companies are doing. We know that their perceived earnings, their gross overall earnings, right, is off of our backs. They didn't make any changes to cause them for their stock price to run 115%. They took the money from us. They took the bonus, replaced the base fare, made it look like that. Same thing with Uber. What has Uber done? Right? What has Uber done to result? Again, this is the daily chart, right? Uber's done well. This is their entire history as a public company. Their entire history. What has Uber done in the last 6 months to create this higher stock price? Now you see, they had a good earnings, right? They gave us a good earnings, but look at that. They hit a high of $87 and change. They're all the way down to $71.53. The market knows when you're bullshitting them, man. People know when you're bullshitting them. Now, here's the thing. Uber and Lyft, while they're battling each other for market share, for what that rider is going to take, are they going to take an Uber or a Lyft? Here comes our peoples. Dum. And this is the new disruptor. Tesla. Tesla's the new disruptor. While I'm thinking about it, let me get this line up here. Because when Tesla brings out that Cybercab, when that Cybercab is ready to go, and that hits the street, Uber and Lyft are done. I'm marking the price $413, right? We're only at $339. But here's the big thing, and I know I talked about this before with Tesla. Tesla's already testing their self-driving, unsupervised. I just got an email again the other day. If you have a Tesla, you got the same email. It's coming, y'all. They've been testing their Cybercab software in San Francisco for the last year. Granted, it was only employees that were allowed to use the platform, but they used the platform. Just because they didn't tell you or me about it doesn't mean it wasn't true. So the question is going to be how quickly will people adopt? Do they trust Tesla more than they trust Google? That's the question. Uber and Lyft have nothing to do with this. Both Uber and Lyft will lose market share to Tesla. That is a fact. It is going to happen. Might only be 1%, 0.5%, 3%, 5%. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. But the question is going to be, do they trust Waymo, which is owned by Google? Do they trust their self-driving as opposed to Tesla's self-driving? That's going to be the question. And you have to be aware that there's going to be plenty of journalists, plenty of news articles, right, that are going to say, oh, Tesla's this, oh, this blew up, that blew up, blah, 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 blah. Listen, doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. They said the same thing about the election, and look what happened. It was a freaking landslide. So what's going to happen here? My bet, not financial advice, my bet, start buying your Tesla. Tesla will go to 1,000. Tesla will go to 1,500. I fully see that happening. And next year, which is only a couple of months away, y'all, next year, Tesla in Austin, Texas, they can get around the regulatory concerns, the Democrats. They can get around that regulatory concern. Austin, Texas, San Francisco, LA. Welcome to the new world. Welcome. If you own a Tesla, and I know my boy WeZoom owns a Tesla. I know my boy Commuter Branch owns a Tesla. But WeZoom is in California. He owns a Tesla. Melvin owns a Tesla, even though he's in San Antonio. These guys are going to be able to turn their cars on and over to the Tesla network and put them some bitches out there to work. That's coming. Elon said this at the last earnings. That's coming. It ain't an if, it's a when. When in 2025 will that come through? We don't know yet. But it's coming. They're going to be able to put their cars to work. They're not going to have to drive. They'll be able to sit home and make t-shirts and grow their other business. And Melvin will be able to stay there and keep that nice, sexy look he's got going on there, right? And get news ready for the Rideshare Garage every Wednesday night. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Don't forget. That's going to happen, y'all. And where are you going to want to be? Are you going to want to be in Tesla? Or are you going to want to be in Uber or Lyft? Choice is up to y'all. We all got choices. Let's see. We are pawns. Yes, Kyle. WeZoom. We are 100% pawns. We always have been. My theory. No, let me correct that. My thesis. They lied to us since we were born. Our parents lied to us. Their parents lied to them. Their parents lied to them. They always said, go to school, get a good education, so you can get a good job. Well, that's voluntary slavery. If I'm going to school to get a good education, to get a good job, to make somebody else all this money, and in 40 years I get some raggedy ass watch, and my pension ain't going to be enough to cover the cost of living, well, what the hell? What was the point of all that? Meanwhile, ping pong's over here, left and the right. They got shit tons of money. They're retired at 40. And they don't give a shit about you. Now they're getting residual money. See, you go to school, you get a good education so you can determine your own outcome. That's what should be said to these kids. So you can, now, if you choose to want to work for somebody else, that's on you. If you choose to pursue financial literacy like I'm doing at 56 years old, I am still choosing to learn financial literacy. I was not taught this shit as a young person. This needs to be taught. You want your children to have a better future? Get them to somebody who can teach them financial literacy. If I choose to be an entrepreneur and I want to go open up a taco stand, I should be able to do that. Pursue that. So that's just my feeling on it. That's how we raised our kids. Not to get a good job, but to pursue your own path. And whichever way you go, now you have a broad spectrum that you can keep going. And who knows? You might want to walk away from your job at 40 years old or 45 years old, retire with a pension, right? You can't collect it till you're 65, but it's sitting there. And now for the next 20 years, you can learn to do different shit. Who knows? You might become an Uber driver. You never know. Anyway, y'all, let's see what else is going on in here. Lyft has done nothing. That's right, Melvin. Lyft has done nothing to justify their share increase. Lyft has done nothing. I don't give a shit of what the numbers say. We know, we just proved right here, the numbers are a lie. DoorDash has shown you for the third time, the numbers are a lie. They're lying to their shareholders. They're lying to the drivers. They're lying to the customers. And yet people will still buy their fucking stock and people will still drive for them because sometimes you got no choice. I get it. Just don't be fooled by this shit. Don't be fooled by it. That's the whole point. And now out of this $11.25 million, that still has to be approved by a judge on this settlement. And according to Steve from Rideshare Rodeo, again, y'all make sure you check him out. This is going on in a lot of different states. Whenever one of these companies, Uber and Lyft did it in New York, how many times now? $328 million suit. As soon as that number comes up, they take it quick, because then they don't have to legally admit in court or on a piece of paper somewhere filed publicly that, yes, we robbed the drivers. Yes, we misled the public. They don't have to do that, right? Uber has never lost a court case. You know why? Because they don't go to fucking court. I'm starting to get hot. Starting to sweat here. Anyway, up that $11.25 million, how much of that is going to go to the drivers? Because they're the ones who got robbed. How much of that is going to go to the drivers? You don't know. Half? They can sit there and tell you all day long, but if you don't get a full audit, and who are we to ask for a full audit on anything? We're just dumbass Uber drivers. Remember that. We're not smart enough to think for ourselves. We're just dumbass Uber drivers. Bro, that's where we're at. Let's see. I'm going to finish up on these comments because I'm about done with this coffee. Dude, I can drive home from casino to my house 15 miles without even touching the wheels now. Bro, unsupervised FSD. And now they got ass and titties. And I'm saying that not in a condescending way towards women, but we know what ass is. And now you got the new acronym titties. I'm sorry, this is Elon's just a funny guy. Where now all the Teslas will be able to talk to each other. You got 5 or 6 Teslas on a roadway, right? They're doing their thing. All these Teslas are independent of each other. But now with full self-driving, they'll be able to communicate with each other to relay in real time, to relay traffic information. Red light, green light, car on the side of the road. We're not going to have to do anything. This isn't going to be like Google or Waze, where it's socially interactive. These cars are going to do it themselves. And if you've got connectivity, and for the life of me, I don't know why you would not have connectivity in your Tesla, unless you got Starlink in your Tesla, why you would not have that. Now your traffic is going to be even instantaneously more updated. Just that quick. Just that quick. You guys are missing the boat, man. Missing the boat, I'm telling you. DoorDash got caught with their pants down again. Yes, Endorphin Factory. You can read the article right here. Just look it up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One more time. One more time. Oh. Anyway. Darn, I haven't taken a trade yet. Okay. See, I'm with y'all today, man. I'm not trading today. Not yet. Uber driver here in Cali. I have a Model Y. I'm currently having luck with food delivery versus Uber X. I'm having no luck with people tipping on X. Less than 10% of people tip on Uber X. Rory, I have an answer. Well, I have a theory. The theory is Uber's charging so much to the riders now. And remember, your X riders and your Lyft basic riders, they're limited in their money for the most part. Not all of them, but they're limited in their money. Right? So that somebody who's trying to go to work or something like that, they don't really have that extra money for a tip, especially when they're already paying, and this is, again, do the math, 15 to 20% more year over year. That's what riders are paying. Whatever that ride cost them last year, it's now costing them 15 to 20% more this year. They don't have the extra for the tip. And drivers are making anywhere from 15 to 20% less than what they were making for that same exact ride a year ago. That's my opinion on it. I've talked to plenty of riders, as I'm sure you guys do. That's what I'm hearing. Commuter branch, modern day slavery, controls exerted financial means, loan mortgages and debt all keep folk with their nose at the grindstone. Amen. Pensions are a Ponzi scheme. I do not disagree with you. I'm trying to get my pension into my own hands. I want the pension into my own hands. Let me be the master of my ship. Let me be the captain of my ship. Destiny. Let me do that. Remember, there was a time here in the U.S. where that was considered. Instead of money going into Social Security, they wanted to make, I think it was under Bush 2. Yeah, I think it was under Bush Jr. They had floated the idea of taking Social Security, turning it into a 401k proposition, And obviously they had the backing of Wall Street to do that, where you as an individual, you could choose to control your own Social Security, i.e. your own pension. Pension funds, pension managers. I have a union pension, right? And again, I can't collect it till I'm 62, which is bullshit. But anyway, they control my pension. I have no say-so in it. So if they decide that they just put all their money into Uber, remember what we just talked about 10 minutes ago with Uber and Tesla and how that's going to shift. And they leave it in Uber. Now Tesla comes along, Uber's share is going to drop 3, 4, 5%, 10%. We don't know. Remember, Uber's trading at $72 this morning. If they drop 10%, that's $7 loss. That's $7 off the stock price. Gone. Poof. And if Tesla is successful, and I really want y'all to tell me when Elon has not been successful, he succeeds at everything eventually. Maybe not when he says he's going to do it, but he gets there. Then what happens? Uber's got to find another way to wiggle worm their way into the economy. They have to find a way to be that ultimate middleman, because it ain't going to be in fucking rideshare. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, UberX is lower tip rate. Like I said, man, you have to understand the economics of the tiers. People that can barely afford to take Uber, they're X-riders or they're X-share riders. We have, as drivers, we have to understand that. I don't care what we're driving. You have to understand that the majority of X-riders, that's all they can afford. Yeah. That's the fucked up part about this equation. But you know who gets paid every single time? The apps. The apps get paid regardless whether it's an X ride, shared ride, Lux ride, Black ride, Premier ride, XL ride. Doesn't matter. They get paid all the time. They get theirs first, and then the crumbs come to us. That's exactly where we're at right now. All right. Thanks for bringing the details about this. Congrats on your channel, almost 4K. Hey, Endorphin Factory, I appreciate it, brother. Listen, the only reason I knew about this with DoorDash, because like I said in the beginning, I don't do DoorDash, right? I don't do food delivery, right? And I don't knock anybody else who does it. It's just not for me, right? But I was watching Steve from Rideshare Rodeo last night. And after the stream is ended, I'll make sure to put the link down below to this article as well as to his channel, and you guys can go watch the stream. He's way more versed and educated on the scenario than I am. I'm just saying, it's a bait and switch. It don't take a genius to figure this shit out. Anyway, Lyft does pay better on basic. And Silver Fox, that's what Steven's saying. Steven's saying the same thing, and Buddha for a while was saying the same thing. I don't know what Buddha's saying now, because now he seems to have a different opinion, at least on longer rides. So there you go with that. Antonio, thank you, brother. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on in the market. Let's go check. Man, we've been on here an hour, which is like 30 minutes longer than I wanted to be. Y'all know my coffee's cold, right? Y'all know my coffee's cold. I mean, it's still in there. It's still coffee in there. I don't want to spill it, but it's cold now. Y'all got me drinking cold coffee, baby. Let's go to NQ. There's NQ. Let's get off this daily chart. Let's get into a 1 minute chart. It's 10:30. There's another system in here that I like to use when I'm trading options, but it has not worked out for me trading futures, which is the ICT Silver Bullet. And I credit Eddie, Driving in Style. Eddie got me turned on to ICT. I still haven't seen anybody that's made a shit ton of money trading ITC. I'm sure there is. You know, that's Inner Trader Circle. Some people say the guy's a fraud. I don't know. But as you can see up here, my indicator, ICT Concepts, there is some value that I'm finding in what ICT does. And like I said, we're doing okay. So here, low a day now. You see where it says OB? All right, that's an order block. And because it's blue means it's bullish. If it was red, like up here, here's another order block. That's a bearish. Plus we have buy side liquidity here. again, you guys have been with me all morning. Remember, I set the opening range 5-minute candle. Here's the top of the 5-minute candle. Here's the bottom of the 5-minute candle. And look where we are. There's a break. Tried to break above it. Retest failed. Break above it. Retest failed. Right? Break it. So it's in this range. But the purple line here is opening session, close a candle, which is at 6 p.m. yesterday. If y'all don't know, March futures, you can trade almost, I think it's 22 hours a day, something like that. So we're going to wait and see what happens there. I haven't seen anything yet. Silver Fox here in Cali. I've been doing platinum DoorDash tier dashing the past 2 months, and it's never been worse. I'm absolutely done being taken advantage of. And bro, and it's like, what do we do? Right? So over the weekend, and I ain't going to lie, y'all, since 2 weekends in a row, I did it. I did a whole vlog. Last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday vlog, it's sitting right there. It's right there. I never uploaded it. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, another vlog. Another vlog. I did it. Sitting right there. And I'm not going to upload it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm conflicted. Maybe you guys can help me. I'm conflicted with what I want to do with this channel. This is what I do, right? I'm an Uber and Lyft driver. I'm a rideshare driver. But every time I make a video, if I show my earnings, it's going to inspire somebody, whether we want to admit it or not. If you're on YouTube, you could be the best YouTuber. You could be the worst YouTuber. Somebody is going to find inspiration in what you do and say, oh, I can do that. You're going to get your haters. That's okay. This video, I have three dislikes on it at some point. It happens every time, right? But somebody will say, oh, man, Vinny went out and made $600 over the weekend. Oh, shit, yeah, I could do that on the weekends. And so now I'm promoting the apps. They're not listening to, man, this sucks, this is bad, this was rough. They're not listening to that. They're not listening to, oh, man, I did 10 rides that were way undervalued, but because I did this one big ride, it brought the undervalued rides up, mean average, right? Which is fine, right? Singles, keep hitting singles, keep hitting singles, keep hitting singles, hit the home run. That's fine as long as you have the patience for that. But that big home run hit ain't guaranteed. It ain't guaranteed. 2 weekends ago, I had a $191 ride. Last weekend, I didn't have a ride that paid me over $50. You understand what I'm saying? So it's really about promoting when I do these videos. I would rather just come here, hang out with y'all, my community, my peoples from all over the country. I would rather just come hang out, bullshit, chop it up. Same thing what we do on Wednesday nights. By the way, tomorrow night's show is going to have a couple new people on it as well as the same old crew. And we're gonna turn it into an EV show. We're going to talk a lot EVs just because we have not done an EV show. But I want everybody to tune in because there's probably going to be some hard, cold facts on there that EV owners ain't going to want to hear. That's right. So Endorphin, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Lyft does not pay more in Texas. Well, and so, you know, it's different folks, different strokes, different folks in different cities. Here's another question. If New York City, LA, Chicago are your three major cities in the U.S., is that fair to assume? New York, come across Midwest, Chicago, come across LA, West Coast, right? All on a line, so to speak, right? Parallel. Those are your three major cities. Why do those cities have separate payout rates? Is not New York one of the highest cost of living? Is not LA one of the highest cost of living? Hell, LA just got ripped 80 cents more, 60 cents more at the gas pump thanks to your governor. And there's another $1.20 on the table. You guys in California that pay for gas, and you EV guys, you EV drivers going to feel that at the EV charger too. You guys, they just voted in a 60-cent gasoline tax hike. Who knew? California. But I digress. The point is, New York, Chicago, LA, right? All three of those. Why aren't those cities have the same rates? They both got about the same cost of living. Costs about the same to live in all of those cities. But why are there 3 different rates for basic X rights? I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense to me. You could have tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, which would be like a Miami, a Nashville, Atlanta. And there's a reason why I chose New York, Chicago, LA as your top 3 cities. I was in the trade show business for 21 years. Those are the number 1 city in the country for trade shows and conventions is Chicago. You know why? Because it's dead smack in the middle of the country and everybody can get there. If not, they go to New York, right? New York has some hella shows at the Javits Center. Hella business, financial capital of the world, right? Financial capital of the world. That's where they go there. LA, West Coast access to the Asian markets, right? Hollywood, all of that shit. Did I say Hollywood? Should have said Peterwood. Anyway, they got access to all of that out there. 3 main cities. There you go. Everything else, including Atlanta, including Orlando, including Miami, including Anaheim, including Dallas, including Seattle, those are all secondary cities. So, but those secondary cities could have a separate rate as long as all those secondary cities are the same. Just makes life easy, man. Just makes life easy. Drivers know what to expect. Right now, you're driving for hopium. If you got to go out, this ain't even funny. If you gotta go out and drive today, when you go to drive, and you gotta pray to make $150 today, Lord, I need this help today. I really need to make this money today because you got a bill pressing, or maybe your refrigerator's a little empty. This job is tough to do that on because you have no control over how much you're going to make in a day. You can only work so many hours. You can only drive so many miles on that tank of gas or on that EV charge. Just shit to think about. Anyway, we're going to start wrapping this up. Just hold the conversation, promote life, promote better in yourself. Amen to that, Ryan. That's exactly what I think I'm going to do. That's it. The world according to Kuzz. We're having coffee with Kuzz right now. And maybe, I need to be putting out a couple videos a week. And maybe it's just everything. Whatever's on my mind, maybe I put that out as a video. And maybe not all the live streams. I want to do 2 of these live streams, these 2 coffee with Kuzzs every Tuesday and Thursday. We got the Rideshare Garage on Wednesday night. And I'll be honest with you guys. Like, we've been talking about switching it up. We're probably not going to switch it up. We're probably just talking shit because it serves a purpose. Even if it's only for 50 or 60 people on the live stream, which is what we average. We average about 50 or 60 people on that live stream. And we love every one of you. And then, it'll get 300-400 views a week. That means somebody's getting something out of it. And if somebody's getting something out of it, God bless, bro, then it's worth it. It's worth it to me. Because when I was coming up in the ranks, we didn't have all this. I didn't have nobody teaching me this. I didn't have nobody talking to me about the ways of life with the gig apps. They didn't exist. So I appreciate that, Ryan. As a matter of fact, Ryan, I am pinning your comment to the top. I just recorded my first YouTube video about gig apps. I'm enjoying it, and hopefully it can take off a bit because I've been in the game for 9 years. Well, listen, drop your link. Endorphin. No. Come back on. This is my trading computer over here, guys. I do all my trades on this computer. Endorphin, drop your link, your channel name in the chat. I will pin it to the top, and then I will go subscribe. I will go check out your video. And hopefully everybody else in the chat will do the same. That's how we do it around here. We don't stop nobody from doing that stuff. We want to make sure it's good. But you need to do it now so I can get up out of here. Yep, find the link. I'm going to wait till you get the link because I'm done with my coffee, and I do need to go over here and try and make some money. But honestly, looking at this chart, it's consolidation. We're in this range, right? So for the most part, I would say NQ this morning, for the most part, is trading shit. I mean, it says, what's that, 80 to 50, an 80-point swing, 70-point swing, right? Which this is a lot. If you can go from here to here on a 70-point swing, you're okay. But we're stuck right here between this 32 and 02. So it's 30 points. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. Hard to trade in this, right? This is where a lot of traders lose their money, man. Because they think they got the right breakout. Nope, come back. Nope, come back. And next thing you know, they're getting stomped out. So they're losing. A lot of times it's chop, you don't trade it. This is computer algo right here. This is where traders go to die, chop. And if we go back, right, we did have some stuff overnight, pretty good, but it came right back into this range that it ended at yesterday. But yesterday you had a lot bigger swings. So you had bigger swings where you could make trades. But right now it's too tight, way too tight. Now, one could say we had a double bottom here at the at the bullish order block. And you could say it isn't an uptrend. We could say that, right? So there's that one. But now we see we're starting to break that trend, which is consolidating. This is just what I look at. This ain't got nothing to do with y'all. This is not financial advice. This is just how I look at it. This is how I look at it. And it's working for me. As my good friend Sergio Avidium would say, y'all make sure y'all go check out his channel too. He's a lot more well-versed in the financial markets than I am. A lot more. But calls me a stock jockey. Giddy up, motherfucker. Let's go. Daddy got bills to pay. Okay, endorphin factory. Okay, I'm gonna go find it. Let's go see if we can find endorphin factories. Let's go find this channel. Endorphin factory. Let's see, did I spell that right? Here we go. This is Endorphin Factory right here. All right, are you guys watching? Y'all do me a favor. Y'all go link up with homeboy here. I'm going to put his, it's one of us, man. I'm putting him in the chat right now. And there it is. We're going to pin it at the top. It's one of your fellow drivers. This is one of us. So we got to show the support. There it is. I am subscribed. All notifications. And that's how this works, right? So we are going to, we'll come back and we'll watch this in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to refocus on this. But I promise I will go look at your channel, watch your channel, and I will leave a comment on that video. All right, y'all, I am done with my coffee. It's 10:43. And I have a long day in front of me. So we are going to, we're going to get this done. Appreciate y'all hanging with me today. Like, I really, really appreciate y'all hanging with me today. Shout out to all my peoples. We will see you tomorrow night on the Rideshare Garage. Don't forget, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. on the West Side. And, yeah, we haven't taken a trade yet. And I need to take a trade. I am now back to where I was Thursday morning before I had a bad day. So I still need $750 in profit to pass this evaluation. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with taking my time to get there. This is broken, by the way. This is done. You can get rid of that. That trend line is done. It's just chop. So we'll wait and we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, y'all. I appreciate you. Much love. Y'all be safe out there. Make a lot of money. Remember, start buy something. Invest in something once a month. All right. Peace out. Late. Whee!